A seed is the part of a seed plant which can grow into a new plant. In our food system today, many historical seeds that celebrate tradition have disappeared. Slow Food USA's Plant a Seed campaign helps to bring awareness and preserve the historical and cultural aspects of these important seeds. Hey garden friends, Farmer Kim here with my nephew Sam.
Hey!
We're going to be talking about our Plant a Seed campaign today. We're super excited because there's some really cool food. Can't wait to get growing. Okay, so we're going to start some seeds in containers before they go in the ground. Some seeds you need to do that with. Tomatoes and peppers are two of the seeds that you'll need to do that. So this is the Cherokee Purple and this is the Chimaya peppers. I'm very excited about both of these. Sam's going to load up the containers with the soil. In there I have regular potting soil and then I added a little bit of sphagnum moss and that will help the water retain. You can buy some seed starting medium if you want, but it's not really necessary. So we're going to get these all filled up and then we'll start planting.
The first method is the seed starter. It's just a bunch of little holes and you just fill them up with dirt. Next we have recycled plants holders, and that's the third and second one. Then we have some Dixie cups. These are also great. We have eggshells. If you ever make eggs or something, use these. They could be useful. And then we have the actual egg carton. If you could see there, right here.
So since we're planting two different varieties of seeds, and I don't have any popsicle sticks, I had some painter's tape. So on one half of this, we're going to put the peppers on the painter's tape side and the tomatoes on the other. Then as we plant these two seeds in the other places, we'll be able to tell what the seeds look like when they start to sprout, and we'll be able to identify it by their leaves because peppers and tomatoes look different when they grow. The Chimaya chili is one of several varieties of the New Mexican chili. The species, which includes bell pepper, jalapeno, and cayenne, originated in southern North America and northern South America and has been grown for centuries. Chilies made their way to New Mexico around 1600, carried north by Spanish conquistadors, and widely distributed among settlers and pueblos in the area. In the century that followed, chili seeds were grown in local patches that developed particular strains and flavors, and often named after where they were developed, as is the case of the Chimaya chili. The unique flavor of the Chimaya puts the chili in high demand, but the great majority of native New Mexican chilies are beloved and consumed locally, and Chimaya chilies can be difficult to obtain outside of New Mexico. So it's a good idea to grow your own. So with the Chimaya peppers, we're going to plant 2 seeds per square because sometimes they don't sprout or germinate. That's what it's called. And so we'll just kind of take a risk and then we'll figure out which one's the strongest one as they start to grow. On the back, if you read about that, you start it indoors 8 weeks before the transplant date. You put it about a 1/4 inch deep, keep it moist, bright light, and it germinates 7 to 14 days. So 1 to 2 weeks, these should be popping up, and then you'll know what's happening. So Sam's gonna put the seeds in the soil, and he'll show you how that's done.
Okay. So you take the seeds and you put them on the edges of here, and then you push them in softly, because you can damage the seeds if you don't.
And should you cover them up?
Yes.
Right. And remember, they're about a 1/4 of an inch deep. So the space between this knuckle and this knuckle is an inch. So 1/4 of that. So not half, but right in the middle of a half is, and the start is a 1/4. So very small depth. And we're doing it on the blue tape side because that's where we'll know where the peppers are. Production of the Cherokee Purple tomato traces back to Tennessee. John Green was given seeds from a woman who had gotten them from her neighbors. The neighbors had been growing the tomatoes in their garden for about 100 years after they had been shared with them by Cherokee Indians. So that is how Cherokee Purple got its name. It honors the story as well as their unusual dark red, almost purple coloring. The next thing we'll do is our Cherokee Purple tomatoes. Delicious. Very excited about that. They're very, very small. We're only going to put 1 per container. and just hope for the best and hope that they work out. And we're going to do it the same way. We'll do some in this side that's not marked, and then we'll do some in our other containers. So let's do it, Sam.
Okay.
They're tiny.
So they're very small, and we're gonna plant them inside the middle, because with the other seeds, they're bigger, and
we had more.
Yeah,
so we're gonna be conservative with these. Okay, we've got the soil, we've got the seeds, we've got the sunshine. Next we need
water.
So he's gonna water it lightly, go for it. It's really important that you keep your seeds moist. If they dry out, they won't germinate, they won't start to sprout. So keeping it really moist is important. So he's gonna do that, and then we're gonna keep it watered. Check it every day, just make sure it doesn't dry out, and then we wait for a week to 2 weeks to see if they sprout. So now we're ready to get growing. Good job, Sam. Hi friends, I'm in one of my favorite places, a school garden, yay! And today I'm gonna do some seed planting. Jacob's cattle bean is the oldest name given to this variety, also known as the trout or Appaloosa bean. It was first grown in the northeastern United States and southeastern Canada. The Passamaquoddy, indigenous people of Maine, were said to have given some as a gift to Joseph Clark, the first Caucasian child born in Lubec, Maine in the 1600s. This bean had a very local distribution, limited to the northeastern United States, and particularly Maine. This garden is a history garden, and we have several different varieties of beans growing and some snap peas. So I'm going to add the cattle beans to this garden. I really like this kind of rake because it kind of gives you grooves to plant in, and it loosens up the soil. So I'm going to do that first. And the seeds are so cute. They're kind of speckly, like a little cattle, like a little cow. I love that, like cowhide. You can see how I spaced them about 1.5 inches to 2 inches apart, all the way down one row, and then all the way down this row. What I do is I just take the bean seed and then I just push it down till I don't see it anymore, and then just cover it in, and that's about 1/2 inch or so. White Sonoran wheat was first brought to Arizona and the Southwest by Spanish missionaries in 1691. This made a stretchy dough that was first used in the development of the flour tortilla. White Sonora was the main variety of wheat available in the West up to the Civil War. This variety is well tolerated by most people who suffer from celiac disease or wheat allergies. Drought-tolerant, disease-resistant, and highly adaptable. The wheat was used in the creation of communion bread when it was first introduced to the region, but soon became a staple food for the region's inhabitants. The flour was used to make masa or dough for tortillas and shows the influence of the Mexican culture in that region. It's time to plant the white Sonora wheat. And what I've done in this garden is I've loosened up the soil to about the middle of it, and I'm going to do 4 rows. Remember to read the planting directions on your seed packets. It says to plant it at a depth of 1/2 to 1 inch, 1 inch apart. So 4 rows should help with that, and full sun. So make sure you have that too. What started out as putting them 1 inch apart and carefully putting them in the ground ended up being I just drizzled some seeds in. So sometimes that's easier, and then you can thin them later. So you can see the seeds right here. I'll just kind of push them down a little bit, cover them up a little bit. There you have it. I'm a big fan of wheat and can't wait to make some tortillas. We grow food in Texas. So in Texas, collard greens get planted early March and then again in August. So I'm gonna have to wait till the fall to plant those. And then the blue Hubbard squash goes in July 1st. So I'll get those in the ground later. I hope that you enjoy your Plant a Seed kit as much as I do. Get growing and share your progress and harvest with us at Slow Food USA. Use the hashtags PlantASeed or SnailKids. We can't wait to watch you grow.